What's up, ladies and gents? I'm your host, Understream1, and welcome back to more Assassin's Creed Origins Discovery Tour mode. This time we're going to be going into another tour, which is going to showcase the life of Cleopatra. I figured this would be a good one to showcase, and we're going to do this specifically with the character of Cleopatra. So sit back, relax. Hopefully you guys enjoy a little brief history of Cleopatra and kind of what went on with her during this time period. Guys, don't forget to leave a like, comment on these videos, and let me know that you're enjoying them so far. Is this history the same that you remember? Is anything changed? Do you guys have any other things to add to the history? Please let me know in the comments below. I look forward to seeing what all of you have to say. Thank you again. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook for all the live streams every single day, and I will see you guys soon. Enjoy.
Welcome to Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. Three things are necessary when exploring Egypt: water, a good camera, and an omnipresent voice coming from nowhere. Cleopatra VII Theophilopator ascended the throne in 51 BCE at the age of 18. Though her early attempts to maintain power were often challenged, she eventually prevailed and became the sole ruler of Egypt. According to Plutarch, she was the only Ptolemaic pharaoh to speak the Egyptian language. Her intelligence, coupled with a good education and a great political mind, allowed her to make the alliances necessary to maintain the independence of Egypt while Rome was becoming a Mediterranean empire. It is important to understand that Cleopatra's knowledge of Egyptian language and keen understanding of the culture allowed her to make powerful ideological referents that resonated with ancient Egyptians. By associating herself with the god— Take your time. I'll wait. It's not like ancient Egypt is going anywhere. Upon his death in 51 BCE, Ptolemy XII Aulus bequeathed his kingdom to his daughter and eldest son, Cleopatra VII and Ptolemy XIII. As was custom, the siblings were married. The new pharaoh was 10 years old, his sister wife 17. The early years of their reign were not easy. Between 50 and 48 BCE, droughts and floods aggravated Egypt's problems. General Achilles and the royal advisor Pothinos kept intervening in the young ruler's political decisions and eventually colluded to turn Ptolemy XIII against Cleopatra. By 48 BCE, Cleopatra was in exile.
My kingdom for a glass of water.
During Cleopatra's exile, the Roman Empire was not without its own internal conflict. Caesar and Pompey were at war with one another, and after his defeat in 48 BCE, Pompey fled to Alexandria in the hope of finding refuge. This turned out to be an unwise decision. Listening to his advisors, Ptolemy XIII elected to have Pompey assassinated, his head kept as a gift, in the hopes of acquiring Caesar's favor. This gambit backfired. Instead of earning approval, the murder of a Roman greatly angered Caesar.
Τελείας,
Μεγίστη χάριν δόκηση ευπράτην.
Cleopatra, aware of Caesar's anger against Ptolemy for the murder of Pompey, decided to take advantage of the situation. She returned to Egypt in secret, hoping to establish an alliance with one of the most powerful men of the time. Outside of the legend, where she had herself smuggled into his quarters in a carpet, what exactly happened during that fateful meeting remains a mystery. However, Caesar seemed to see a better ruler for Egypt in Cleopatra than in her young and too easily influenced brother. Invoking Ptolemy XII's will, Caesar attempted to mediate peace between the siblings.
Γνώθησε αυτόν και Δίας μεγαλόθυμος έστε εσύ.
Ptolemy XIII was enraged by the turn of events, and his advisors were none too happy to see Cleopatra return. Urged on by General Achillas and Pothinos, the young pharaoh plotted against Caesar and Cleopatra, resulting in the siege of Alexandria in 47 BCE. It was in March 47 BCE. It's not the heat that gets you. Well, it might, if the miles and miles of endless barren desert without water don't first. Ptolemy XIII was enraged by the turn of events, and his advisors were none too happy to see Cleopatra return. Urged on by General Achillas and Pothinos, the young pharaoh plotted against Caesar and Cleopatra, resulting in the siege of Alexandria in 47 BCE. It was in March 47 BCE that Caesar defeated Ptolemy XIII's forces. The young pharaoh drowned in the Nile after having fled the battlefield. With her opponents dead or powerless, Cleopatra married her other much younger brother, Ptolemy XIV, and finally claimed the throne of Egypt for good. The end of the Alexandrian War also cemented the romantic and political alliance between Cleopatra and Caesar.
Μεγίστη χάριν δόκηση ευπράτην.
In June of 47 BCE, Cleopatra gave birth to a son, whom she called Caesarion. Caesar did not accept the boy as his heir, choosing instead his nephew Octavian. Nonetheless, on his return to Rome, Caesar invited the queen and her brother husband to stay in the city. Her presence still drew much disapproval from the Senate. Always a strategist, Caesar left 4 legions in Egypt and a man he trusted to direct Egyptian affairs, giving him control of the wheat supplies essential to Rome. Cleopatra and her entourage remained in Rome until March 44 BCE, when Caesar was murdered. Try using your eagle when you want a top-down view.
Γνώθησε αυτόν και Δίας μεγαλόθυμος έστε εσύ.
Ευχαρίνε, άριστα.
Caesar's most faithful ally, Mark Antony, often visited the Queen of Egypt during his stay in Rome. Unlike most, he recognized the legitimacy of Caesarion, the natural son of Caesar. Antony knew he would need the riches of Egypt in order to fight Octavian and claim the Roman Empire. Cleopatra, in return, saw a powerful ally. In the winter of 41 BCE, she arranged a sumptuous tour of Egypt by boat to show Antony the wealth of her country and the power she held as its ruler. A romantic and political relationship followed. The Roman Senate was once again most displeased. To calm spirits in Rome, Antony married Octavia, sister of Octavian. Try using your eagle when you want a top-down view. Despite his marriage to Octavia, Antony remained Cleopatra's lover, and she gave birth to their children. Cleopatra increased her kingdom's territory and started a political propaganda alongside her lover in Egypt and beyond. She hoped to create a Ptolemaic federal empire with Alexandria at its center. Antony eventually repudiated his Roman wife for the Egyptian queen, much to the dismay of the Roman elite. However, while Mark Antony focused on Egypt, Octavian carefully gained military and political ascendancy over him in Rome. Octavian managed his own propaganda campaign and succeeded. The Roman people hated Mark Antony and Cleopatra. To avoid the censure still inherent in attacking a fellow Roman, Octavian simply declared war against Egypt. Rome's power still reigned supreme. The powerful Egyptian fleet, led by Cleopatra as well as Mark Antony's forces, were defeated in 31 BCE in Actium. Octavian arrived in Egypt in 30 BCE to formalize his victory. The following events remain difficult to confirm due to the many versions and legends around them. It is believed that after hearing a rumor about Cleopatra's suicide, Mark Antony committed suicide himself. He was brought to the queen as he slowly passed away. Knowing that Octavian would have her chained and paraded through Rome in defeat, Cleopatra planned her own suicide.
My kingdom for a glass of water.
All right, ladies and gents, there you go. That is the end of this tour. If you've already done the tour, I can see a little discrepancies as you can see that I've already done this tour. I did this tour yesterday in the live stream, and sometimes the normal random narrator will come on and interrupt the actual narrator, and it will stop the text conversations that the game is giving you or the voice narration. That doesn't happen during the actual thing. I'm thinking it's a glitch, it's a bug, whatever it is, but it would keep the actual narrator from continuing the conversation he's having, can get a little bit in the way and stop what you're trying to learn. So I do apologize for that, but if you've done a tour, it looks like the random narrator that comes on every now and then and reminds you of stuff just keeps reminding you of things and interrupts everything else. So that is probably a glitch of some sort. But it's very, very fascinating nonetheless to hear about all of this history with Cleopatra. I mean, I've never been one to really study everything that has to do with her in the past and all that, but I do know, they've made movies about it. There's so much history out there about it, speculation. Obviously, Assassin's Creed came up with its own way of explaining all of the situations and whatnot, but it's just amazing just that to know the type of people that were just so long ago. And, drama hasn't changed much. It's always about baby daddy. So I just find that a little bit to be hilarious. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will have some more tours coming up very soon.
Exploring Egypt: water, a good camera, and an omnipresent voice coming from nowhere.
The only biggest problem I probably have is with the random narrator, but that's not too big of a deal. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will have another tour up for you shortly. Peace out.